Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another edition of Fake Book News. Here we have part 6. It has been a minute since I've done this. I just want to throw a couple of disclaimers out there. I will be using ChatGPT just to kindly assist me with fact checking things because it's very easy, especially when it's live or when when there is no pauses or editing, to suddenly say things and then think, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said that. And because it hasn't been fact checked, it's not factual, and yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the mix and say things that may not necessarily be true or fact checked. And it's not that I'm afraid of being targeted or sued or whatever. It's just the fact that as a Christian, it's not for me to be out here kind of throwing out things that I've heard and there's no real truth, or I didn't spend the time to kind of research as to was it entirely true, or I heard it and I just strictly try to make a buck off of it and it's not true. Do you understand? I know better than that. So that's why ChatGPT will be here to assist me and help me. I do not condone the use of it as a best friend, as a girlfriend, boyfriend, couple counselor, or a therapist. Now that I've got that out of the way, got that out of the way, let's go into what happened in my last Fake Book News Part 5, guys. Let's move on to the good stuff, okay? Right, so Fake Book News Part 5, I talked about, sorry guys, let me go into this. Jeff Bezos being punked for 38 billion. I was a bit harsh at the time, guys, when I said that, to be honest with you. Because I was kind of like, you punk and you this, you that. But the right of it is, when he met this woman, he was probably working inside of his garage, the same way I am now. I do personal training out of my garage. And he was just like me. And there was no way of knowing he would have become a billionaire, so I'm trying to say. So it was probably real towards the beginning, but it wasn't real towards the end, so I'm trying to say. And because if it was real towards the end, she probably would have said, you know what, I don't need 38 billion, just give me such and such and I'll leave. But 38 billion is a lot of money, I'm trying to say. I talked about Richard Blackwood's progression. I talked about single mothers accidentally ending up with thugs. I talked about meningitis B um, breaking out in certain Amazon factories, and I talked about high street security guards and some of the abuse that they go through for quite low amounts of money. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Especially when your employer, because I was a security guard, by the way, so this is why I don't need a fact check, because I've experienced it, and I was being paid really low money. Was it worth me like risking my life? Like some of the security guys were like, listen, yeah, I'll go out there and I'll smack him out. I'll smack him to pieces. I met all kinds. I met what do you call it, transport police, and he was like, listen, African Ben. He's like, listen, man, I will do this to him, and I will. And I'm thinking, I don't know about the transport police, but I do know it's about security guys at the time. And I was doing it. It wasn't worth the money. I also talked about mother and daughter adult work. That was crazy. I talked about how a man died in Bangkok because his drink was spiked. I talked about Carissa Steele's belittling men by challenging them physically. Professionals, by the way, they weren't ordinary guys. We know she can be up ordinary guys. I talked about how desperate is desperate when it comes to thirsty men, okay? Now we're going to get into some new stuff. As you guys know, as I go through Facebook, all of this stuff is random, so it's not prepared, okay? Some of the stuff is quite shocking to me, actually. It knocks me back a bit, because I'm thinking, damn, I didn't expect that. But we're going to talk about it. Let's get stuck into it. Right, guys, so let's go back to Facebook and let's log in. Sorry, guys, let's log in and let's do this. Let's have some fun. Okay, so let's log in. Right. For some reason, right, no, right. I just think it should develop to appeal small areas and to help improve. Okay, sounds good. Nope. Put your mouth on that. Okay. Has anyone seen this? Is it any good? They will kill you. Not interested. Not interested. What did I do? What did I do wrong? Black and Finch say South Korean restaurant after being surrounded by white mob and kicked out in viral. Right. She said there shouldn't be any racism. Good. Well, that's what she should say. Village boy, hate video, hate video. Right. So, what's this?
Y'all report my video saying that I was promoting hate towards y'all. Okay. So let me just get this thing clear, because y'all the ones on my page trolling, saying that I'm black as fuck, I'm ugly as fuck, I'm dirty. That sounds like more hate compared to what I said. I just spoke on some real shit. What y'all just pulled is proof that y'all are colonized, modernized slaves, and also are skinfolk and kinfolk. And what I said stands. If y'all have any type of issue going on, don't ask no black nation for shit.
Right, guys. Let's go to a page and let's see if we can find her previous video. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. Let's go to a page and see if we can find her previous video and what she was talking about. My internet is slightly playing up, guys. You got to bear with me. There she is. Let's see if we can find that previous videos of hers. So, let me get right. So, basically, and I was going to do a video on this, by the way. There's basically something going on in Africa, South Africa, where they're walking up to people that weren't born in South Africa, and one guy's got a whip, one guy's got a camera, and all I saw basically is them walking up to one guy that had a shop, and they said to the guy, look, come out here, come outside your shop. And he's got like a small, like, there's no way of explaining it to you. It's kind of like a, obviously you have your full blown shops with doors and everything else. And then you have kind of like your tuck shops. Is it tuck shop? Is that the word I use to describe it? It's like a very tiny stall. It's like a stall. You kind of have your stall shops, right? This guy, this African guy, let's assume he's from Nigeria and the country South Africa that he's in, and he's trying to earn a buck. You've got these guys that are walking up to him and saying, look, close your store now. You've got until, I think it was June the 30th to go away. And I'm watching this video because it's circulating on Facebook, and I'm thinking, what's going on there? Why are these videos circulating? Why is he telling this man he has to leave and go home? He's closing up his store. Then this guy's got a whip and he's slapping him around the face. It's not a whip with like metal, but it's definitely something that can probably flog someone. It's not nice. The guy would definitely defend himself, but there's more than one. There's a mob of these guys, and they're saying to this Nigerian guy, wherever he's from, close up your store now. We told you you've got until this time now to get out of this country. And I'm seeing more than one of these videos, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? So basically, she's kind of retaliating to that. A few other people have done it as well. There's been the comedian, I can't remember his name now, well-known American comedian. He had something to say about it as well, and he was just as confused as I was. He's like, why am I seeing these videos pop up on my timeline of South African black men telling other Africans that weren't born in South Africa that they have until June the 30th to leave the country? What is on? What I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and he was trying to figure out as well. Okay, she must have done a video in response to what she saw, just like me and you, and she got a lot of backlash for it. Right, let's see if this is something on her page, guys. Let's see if this explains it. Right.
South Africans. So now, if you are a white man and you give birth in South Africa, you will automatically give the child citizenship. It will become South Africa. But when a black man, a Nigerian man, Ethiopian man, Equatorial Guinea man, or Ghanaian man give birth in the same South Africa, you guys will deny the person citizenship, deny the baby citizenship, because what? You hate black. How long are we going to continue like this? How long? South South African. So now, if you are a white man and you give birth,
so he kind of like, I think I just explained it there. There's something going on, but I'm not going to waste too much time on that, guys, because that's not what it's about. Today, I'll be honest with you, like, the Fakebook news is about having a little bit of a laugh, not spending too much time on these things. So, you know, we will dive into that. I might do a long ass video diving into those things and black on black African hatred, and you know, we'll get into that another time. We'll get into that another. So here's the guy. Anyway, let's just quickly sum this up. Let's quickly sum this up. This guy here is him. He's the leader, or he's the face of the guy that's going around South Africa right now and telling the rest of Africans that weren't born in South Africa to leave. It boils down to this guy right here. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, guys. Let's move on. Okay, especially that is kind of like what's the word? It's kind of jumping. Just move on. They fired her after 47 hours and a jury handed them over to the company and ended up paying the price. So I'm a personal trainer myself, guys. I saw this before, and this is about a black professional bodybuilder and former manager at the luxury gym Equinox. She had a bit of habit of hitting the snooze button. Over the course of 10 months, she was officially late to 47. She was officially late to work 47 times. So basically saying that they fired her after 47 late arrivals. Then a jury handed her 11.25 million, and the company ended up paying the bigger price. I don't know. I'm not really bothered about it. But I'm a personal trainer. We know that this couldn't happen in the UK. What's this now? Y'all come to us. We don't have to come to y'all. You can wrestle, yet you are afraid of an MMA fight. Superior was beaten in an MMA fight, which you don't have the courage for. Let's see. Right. Oh, what's this?
Work with people. I've been in the people check my books. I work with asylum seekers. I work with people. I've been in the ocean to save people's lives. I've listened to these people cry their eyes out to me. People that have been tortured. I don't think it's okay to throw them under the bus. I don't think it's okay to say that they're the problem in this country. You're very charismatic. You're very good with your words. I think that you have a lot of power in your hands. But I just think that we should give these vulnerable people. I mean, had difficult lives. I'm not talking about the ones I hear grooming people. I'm not talking about them, because I know that we want to attack them. I'm talking about all the women that tell me that they've been raped and attacked, all the women that have been tortured by the country. Did they cry their eyes out? Please check my books.
Right, so that's one of my cousins, Chris Preddy. He's doing his thing, as you can see there, Chris Preddy OBE. Move on, guys. We're moving on now. I don't want to hear about listen, guys, listen. I don't want to hear about Nigel Farage. Yeah. Guy said the guy seemed like the guy was kind of begging Nigel Farage to kind of ease up on his kind of what's the word, his kind of ease up on his attacks, or his kind of I don't know what word I use to describe it, persecution of foreign people, basically, in a nutshell. But I don't want to respond to that. I did a long video on that, so let's move on past that. Okay, let's get back to this. What's this now? We are banning social media access for under 16s. Sounds good to me, man. Sounds good to me.
All I've ever wanted, hand on heart, is for them to be safe and for them to be happy.
Right.
And the rest is up to them. But you know, I think back to when I was growing up, and I have to say, I think we had it easier. These days, kids have to find their feet in a world that changes so quickly, where technology intrudes into every area of their lives. And we know that harms them. The response from parents in the consultation has been absolutely clear. Thousands of parents say their children are addicted to social media. It can leave them trapped in a cycle of endless scrolling that displaces play, sleep, and time with the family. It can harm their mental health. And frankly, parents need our support on this. That is why today, The government has decided to ban social media access for children under 16. It's a big step for our country. Now, it's not an easy thing to do. I'll be honest about that. We haven't.
Right. Okay. Let's not kind of, yeah. Right, guys. So that's going to be very hard to do, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Banning social media for anyone under 16. Yeah, it's going to be a tough thing to do. I'm not going to go too much into it. I'll just say, look, it can become very addictive, but you got to understand as well, children can't just run out there and play by themselves today, because you've got pedophiles, you've got racists like Nigel Farage and Tommy Robinson. Is it Tommy Robinson? Yeah, it's just not safe for your kids to be playing out there. So a lot of the times they're locked in the house because you can't have them out in the streets like we used to 30, 40 years ago. We were able to go out into parks and certain environments by ourselves and play amongst ourselves. Now you've got to worry about so many things. Yeah, I don't even want to get into it. They just can't. So parents don't have time when they come back from work to play with their children. They're tired. On the weekends, a lot of parents as well, just like, look, this is my time to put my feet up. I don't want to get into another job of kind of parenting my child on the weekends. I just want to have them, especially if they've got a brother or sister, I just want to have them playing with their brothers and sisters. Maybe throw a couple of toys in the mix, a couple of tablets in the mix, and let them get on with it. To ban it, going to be a tough thing to do. I don't know how he intends to do that. Does it make sense? I suppose it does, because of long-term mental health and ADD and ADHD and neurodivergency that happens to kind of come along when children are exposed to too much social media. Let's move on. Let's move on, guys. Yeah, let's move on past this now. I don't have the answer to it, guys. It's as simple as that. I don't have the answer. Minority births outnumber white births. Again, this is some sort of racist narrative that Americans are using. Yeah, I don't know. And another thing, guys, as well. Right, let's ask ChatGPT about this. I've just seen some sort of ad on Facebook, and it's basically saying, for the first time in American history, minority births outnumber white births. Is this true or false?
Yes, it's true. The U.S. Census Bureau first reported this milestone in 2011, when minority births made up 50.4% of total births, while non-Hispanic white births were 49.6%. More recently, a study confirmed that by 2024, minority births still outnumbered white births.
50.4. So isn't that half, really? Let's look. Come on, no one's going to say 50.4. Doesn't that mean that half of the births are white people, and the rest is the mix of many other nations, basically? And God knows, and you and I know, how many other different nations are there on the planet right now. So it's half white people, half everyone else. Is that correct?
You're right in that sense. 50.4% is just slightly above half, but it's not a massive majority. Essentially, it means that the birth demographics have crossed that threshold. So yes, white births are still close, but the total is now slightly more diverse. And as you said, the broader category of minority births is a composite: Hispanic, Black, Asian, multiracial, etc. So the diversity is really broadening across that entire spectrum.
Who do you believe that America belongs to? Who do you believe who do you believe was originally there in America?
That's a pretty layered question. In a historical sense, indigenous peoples were the original inhabitants of the continent. Hundreds of diverse tribes and nations had long-standing cultures here. After European colonization, the demographics shifted drastically due to migration, displacement, and settlement. So America's identity is really a tapestry of indigenous, European, African, Asian, and many other influences.
to a certain degree, you would say like it's kind of it certainly doesn't belong to white people. You would say that it's a mixture of people that it belongs to.
Exactly. The US is built on a deeply complex history of indigenous stewardship, European colonization, forced migration, and waves of global immigration. So, in that sense, it's not the inheritance of a single group, it's a collective, evolving legacy.
And if Caucasians try to now claim that it belonged to them, and that their country was being overwhelmed by foreigners and aliens and all sorts, what would your response be?
I'd respond by grounding it in historical and demographic reality. The US was never a static, monolithic nation. It's always been shaped by migration and exchange. Claims that one group alone owns the country erase this complexity. My focus would be on emphasizing shared citizenship, ongoing equity struggles, and the fact that America's identity is fundamentally pluralistic.
And what race would you regard yourself as?
I don't have a race or personal identity. I'm just a system designed to provide precise, well grounded information. My role is to help you analyze and navigate these topics without bringing in personal bias.
Thank you.
Of course, if you have any other nuanced topics you want to unpack or any other questions that need clarity, I'm ready to help with that.
Well, there you go, guys. So I hope that clears it up. That's looking at something from a objective perspective rather than emotional. What's the other one now? Because I've been drinking. Yeah, I just said it there, right? Let's move on to the next one. Oh my gosh. Right, let's get into it. An innocent father-to-be came across Rachel Jones following her drunken night out. Almost sentenced to. Right, so basically, from what I heard about this, guys, is that let me see, one minute, guys, because I am a bit kind of teetotaled here. Right, so from what I heard about this is that basically, this woman here. Let's see if we can read if it's the same story. Salim Ullah, 33, an innocent father-to-be, came across Rachel Jones, 38, following her drunken night out. He offered to take her home after finding her alone, crying and barefoot in the street. At the end of the journey, Ullah refused Jones' attempt to hug him. She then went inside and contacted police. She falsely claimed she had been lured into a car and gang raped by Ullah and two other Pakistani men. Wait, so the last time I let me get this. Right, yeah. So that's what I thought it was. Basically, he was worried about her. Yeah, he was worried about her because she seemed in a drunken state, barefooted. So he said, "Look, let me give you a ride home." He put her in his car, gave her a lift home, and then it says here, I think she went to hug him, because I'm a bit kind of all over the place tonight. I've had a little bit to drink, guys. All right. She went to hug him, and he was like, "No, I'm cool with that." And then she went inside and she called the police and she claimed that he raped him. Let me read it again. In fact, let's get ChatGPT to help us out with this one. Right. So I'm gonna post something on Facebook because I'm a bit tipsy. I just want you to explain it to me because from what I know, this guy has picked up a woman because she's been so Salim Ullah, 33, an innocent father-to-be, came across Rachel Jones, 38, following her drunken night out. He offered to take her home after finding her alone, crying and barefoot in the street. At the end of the journey, Ullah refused Jones' attempt to hug him. She then went inside and contacted the police. She falsely claimed she had been lured into a car and gang raped by Ullah and two other Pakistani men. So I'm just asking you now. So is it she attempted to hug him, or he attempted to hug her? Because I'm a bit confused tonight.
I see what you're asking. From what you described, it sounds like it was her, Rachel Jones, who attempted to hug him at the end of the ride. That's the detail that stood out based on your summary. After that, she went inside and contacted the police with her false claim. If you're posting about it, just be careful. This is a really sensitive situation, so clarity matters, and avoid anything that could misrepresent the facts.
Right, so I'm just saying what I've kind of, this is on Facebook right now. So yeah. No, but thank you. So, well, anyway, she got sentenced to 2 years in prison for falsely accusing a man of rape after he rejected her advances after helping her get home.
Exactly. That's what the reporting says. It's a really sobering outcome. False accusations like that have devastating impacts, and in this case, the court ruled pretty strongly. Just be mindful about how you frame it, stick to the facts, since these stories can get a lot of reaction online.
Thank you again.
You're very welcome. If you need any more clarity or you want to double check anything before you post, just let me know. Stay safe and take your time.
Right, so there you go, guys. Let's move on to the next one before we're going to do one more and then we're going to end this thing, okay? You know, guys, there was one earlier, because this isn't my first attempt at Fakebook News Part 6. There was one I was doing, and it was talking about basically how this teacher was told to treat black children differently than white children when it comes to that they're not worth the effort. That's what this white teacher was saying, that he was pulled aside and he was basically taken on some sort of course. And funny enough, it was a black woman that was basically educating this white guy, saying you have to treat black kids differently. You know, they're likely to not be as focused and not as, persevering and promising as the white children. And it kind of killed my whole vibe. I was paused. I couldn't kind of function. I was hit by it so badly that I just had to there was so much of a gap in between my thinking process that I had to so I have to be careful in certain subjects as well. But this is what ChatGPT is here for. That silence, maybe ChatGPT can come in and kind of break that silence and also get things straight. So I'm trying to say. Right, let's move on, guys. Right. So before we end this, guys, one more. Let's go on to one more here. John Bone Jones. What's this? We are watching people lose their lives and still not caring. Okay, cuz. Nope. The word called black children ugly, then stole their beauty. Black babies are considered ugly until they are considered beautiful by everyone else, and by then they have already been destroyed. Okay. I think I've done something this before.
How do you feel? This is the place for it.
Move on. Guys, I think that's it. I genuinely think that's it. I think that's it, guys. I think we're done. Alright, guys, yeah, so that's it. That's Fakebook News Part 6. I'm not going to drag this on. There wasn't that many subjects tonight, but hopefully it was a good one. And I hope to see you guys in Fakebook News Part 7. Have a good night, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.